If you're not familiar with hamza tzortzis, I forgive you. Sight and Broomgate is more than enough for your religious needs, and if he is otherwise engaged, you can contact Eric Hovland as well as Aaron Brummett, he of Asimov fame. The reason why, yet again, I introduced to you another scholar who knows the Creator by the evidence of his creation is because there is something different about his Creator. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He offered his hand, then added, "In the name of God the Merciful." It seemed like Hamza tzortzis was a kind of spokesman for that God, if indeed he wasn't the same God. A few bystanders came closer and nodded as he spoke. "If you see a creation," said Hamza, advocating following the scientific evidence wherever it leads, "you can be sure there is a Creator." I couldn't agree more, only I alerted him to the remote possibility that the Creator has passed away, while his pyramid or poem are still with us to enjoy. "But not Allah," said Hamza. "He always existed, and he always will." I was beginning to feel surrounded by invisible creators who were everywhere and were going nowhere. He proceeded to give me a 20-minute well-structured proof which left no shred of doubt in my mind that Allah, or God, indeed existed. He seemed to know all about Allah, including a detailed plan for the world going forward. When he was done, I grabbed a moment of silence and asked him for the reason behind human suffering. I figured that if God, or Allah, was merciful, unlike Sight and Broomgate's God, for example, perhaps he should have done something to stop it. Hamza's supporters didn't look happy. To my amazement, Hamza, or Mr. tzortzis, said he knew very little about God or Allah's mysterious ways regarding suffering. That sounded disturbingly familiar. Oddly, I was more assured when he told me that he didn't know something, rather than he told me that he did. Not knowing all of physics was what drove me to find out some, and thus receive the Nobel Prize. Unfortunately, Mr. tzortzis knew too much to win any prizes. "Our holy book, the Quran, is a miracle," he then said. No Arabic scholar succeeded in writing similar prose. I had a lot to take in. The holy book sounded rather familiar, although it seemed that, according to Hamza or Mr. tzortzis, it was much more gentle and enlightened than the Bible, especially the oldest part thereof. "Islam is a religion of peace," he then said, while one of his supporters demonstrated a metaphorical beheading in my direction, as you would find if only you could read Arabic. Now I was beginning to be curious. "Tell me a little about Islam and those who practiced it." Hamza, or Mr. tzortzis, was a font of knowledge. "There are many Muslims in the world," he said, "and they all worship the Prophet, who, like a magnetic field, has peace all around him wherever he goes. People who follow the Prophet treat the women and gay people with the utmost respect. In fact," said Hamza, "sometimes I envy our women. I wish I could be driven everywhere and protected from harm the way our women are. And if I were a sheep, I would like to be slaughtered in a humane method that we apply, as sheep die happy and feel no pain." He then got out of his way to say that those who stone women and behead their enemies are no Muslims. I didn't remember asking him about people who were not Muslims, but since he mentioned them, I wondered what they were, if not Muslims. For some reason, Mr. tzortzis handed me the Bible, the holy book shown to me by Sight and Broomgate, Eric Hovland, Aaron Brummett, and Asimov the robot. To my amazement, this book, which was always assured was perfectly written by the Almighty God, as opposed to Allah, seemed to be full of horrendous characters led by a micromanaging, bad-tempered God. "They are Jews," said Hamza, and added, "Some of our best friends are Jews." Unfortunately, he then continued, avoiding eye contact with his growing crowd of supporters, "They call themselves Muslims. I would ignore them if I were you." I then asked what book the Jews followed if the old Bible was confiscated by the non-Muslim Muslims. But Hamza said, "Why, the Quran, of course. Most Jews are very peaceful people, but they're no real Jews. The only thing they slaughter are sheep."